Have you ever stopped to think that you might be ignoring signs that you're more attractive than you realize? The truth is, most of us have a distorted perception of ourselves, and that can impact our relationships and how we connect with others. But what if I told you that, often, the signs that you're attractive are right in front of you, but you just don't notice them? Today, I'm going to show you surprising signs that you're more attractive than you think. Signs that often go unnoticed, but can change the way you see yourself and relate to others. And the best part, I'll present it in a way you've never heard before. So, stick with me until the end, because I promise it'll be worth it. Self-esteem is like an internal mirror that reflects how we feel about ourselves, but sometimes that mirror can be distorted. And you know what's most interesting? Often, we're the ones who create these distortions. We tend to focus on our supposed flaws, things we'd like to change or improve, and end up ignoring what truly makes us unique and attractive. But why does this happen? A big part of it comes from constant comparison. We look at others, whether on social media or in daily life, and start thinking we'll never be good enough. But what we forget is that people only show what they want us to see. That person who seems perfect also has their insecurities, just like you do. And here's the point. The way you see yourself directly impacts how you present yourself to the world and, consequently, how others perceive you. This is even more evident in relationships. Imagine you're on a date or trying to build a connection with someone. If your self-esteem is low, you might become more withdrawn, avoid expressing your opinions, or even convince yourself that the person isn't interested in you. And often, that's just a result of your exaggerated self-criticism. On the other hand, when you're confident in yourself, even if you're not perfect, no one is. It shows in how you talk, smile, and interact with the world around you. People pick up on that energy and are usually drawn to it. What I want to do in this video is help you realize something essential. You might be much more attractive than you believe. There are subtle signs that often go unnoticed, but reveal how people really see you. These signs can be transformative, not just for recognizing your own beauty, but also for improving your connections and relationships. So, if you've ever wondered, am I attractive, or why does no one notice me? Maybe it's time to look at yourself differently. I want to show you that your beauty, both physical and emotional, goes beyond what you think. This will help you appreciate yourself more and, in turn, build healthier and happier relationships. After all, it all starts with how you see yourself. Before we move on to the content, I want to take a moment to talk about something very important: your participation here on the channel. When you subscribe, it's not just a number or statistic to us. Every subscription means we're on this journey together, learning to see ourselves better and to improve how we relate to others. Plus, when you subscribe, you're telling YouTube, hey, this type of content is important to me. And you know what happens? YouTube starts recommending more videos like this, both to you and to others who might need to hear these messages. It's a small gesture that makes a big difference. Think about it. How many times have you found a video that seemed to speak directly to you? That brought exactly the answer or encouragement you needed at that moment. Maybe this video is one of those. And by subscribing, you're ensuring you won't miss the next content that could be just as impactful. Also, when you interact, whether by commenting, liking, or sharing, you're creating a community. And you know what's amazing? In these communities, many people discover that they're not alone. Everyone goes through insecurities, doubts, and challenges in relationships, and here we have the chance to grow together. So, if you're not subscribed yet, take this moment to click the subscribe button. It's quick, easy, and you'll be helping more people find these reflections. And of course, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. After all, your journey to feel more confident, both with yourself and in your relationships, deserves all the attention. Have you ever had that moment when you looked at an old photo and thought, wow, I looked so good back then. Why didn't I realize it at the time? This is a very common phenomenon, and believe it or not, there's a psychological explanation for it. According to a 2010 study, over time, we become more objective when assessing our own images. When we're living in the moment, it's easy to be overly critical. We think our smile wasn't good, that the outfit didn't fit well, or that we had some imperfection that, in reality, no one else noticed. But years later, when we look at those photos, we're able to view them more distantly, almost as if we're evaluating someone else. And what happens? We start to notice the beauty that was there all along, but that our self-criticism prevented us from seeing. This also applies to relationships. Sometimes, when we're trying to connect with someone, we may doubt our appearance or our worth. based on an unrealistic standard we've created for ourselves. But just like with old photos, the truth is that we're much more attractive than we think. We just need to learn to see ourselves with more kindness. Think about this. If you could look at yourself today with the eyes of the future, what would you see? Maybe you'd see someone confident, with unique qualities that make you shine in a way you don't even realize. This shift in perspective can be transformative, not only for how you see yourself, but also for how you behave in interactions with others. So the next time you look at an old photo and catch yourself thinking, "I was better looking than I thought," remember that the same might be happening now. It could be that, years from now, you'll look back at the present and realize how amazing you already were. You just were too focused on the wrong things to notice. And most importantly, remember that attractiveness isn't just about looks. It's also about how you express yourself, the energy you give off, and your ability to connect with others. Don't underestimate the power of being yourself. Have you noticed someone acting a bit awkward around you? Maybe the person talks faster, fidgets with their hands, or even drops something by accident. It might seem strange at first, but this could be a clear sign that the person finds you attractive. When we find someone attractive, our brain goes into a state of social alert. This means that, even without realizing it, we become more conscious of our presence and what we're doing. This nervousness can make us talk too much, stutter, or even avoid eye contact because we're trying to hide our interest. And here's the funny part. We often interpret this behavior as disinterest or rudeness, but it's actually the opposite. In relationships, this can be even more evident. For example, if you're on a date and notice that the other person seems a little uncomfortable, maybe looking away or adjusting their clothes, it could be an indicator that they're trying to make a good impression because they find you interesting. Sometimes, nervousness is just their way of showing that they care about what you think. On the flip side, it's important to remember that not every strange behavior means interest. So, pay attention to the context. A shy smile, a quick glance that looks away, or even a conversation where the person tries everything to keep your attention are good signs that something more might be happening. The point here is to recognize that your presence may be having this kind of impact on others. And sometimes it happens without you even trying. When you start to notice these small signs, you might be surprised at how you're perceived by the people around you. So, the next time someone acts a little strangely around you, try to look beyond the surface. Instead of interpreting it negatively, ask yourself, is this person trying to hide how much they like me? This simple shift in perspective can not only boost your self-esteem, but also open doors to more genuine connections. Have you ever noticed that sometimes, just posting a photo or a story can make your phone start blowing up with notifications? Whether it's a message that seems casual, "What a beautiful place, where are you?" or a simple, "You look great today," it can be more than just social interaction. These subtle signs often reveal that people find you attractive and are looking for a way to connect with you. Social media is a reflection of the real world, but with the added benefit or drawback of allowing people to show interest in a more subtle way. When someone finds you interesting, it's common for them to take any chance they can to start a conversation. And more often than not, it begins with something that seems innocent. For example, if you post a selfie and notice that someone quickly liked it, commented, or even sent you a message, it could be a sign that they're trying to get your attention, especially if this kind of interaction happens frequently. Of course, not every message carries a romantic or flirty tone, but if you start to notice a pattern, like people engaging more when you post something that shows you're feeling good about yourself, it might be time to reconsider how others see you. In relationships, this dynamic can also be a sign of interest. If someone always replies to your stories or makes an effort to interact with your posts, they might be trying to create a connection with you. The challenge is learning how to interpret these signs, recognizing when they're genuine expressions of attraction rather than just casual interaction. But here's a tip: don't underestimate yourself. Often when we receive this kind of attention, we might think, "Oh, it's just kindness," or "This person probably does this with everyone." But the truth is, these small actions could be direct reflections of how you're perceived and appreciated. So, the next time your inbox starts filling up after you post something, take a moment to observe the patterns. It could be a subtle yet powerful reminder that you make an impact on the people around you, even when you don't realize it. Have you ever had that moment when you noticed someone staring at you and, for a second, thought something was wrong? Maybe you had food stuck in your teeth, or your clothing tag was showing. The truth is, most of the time, that intense gaze has a much more positive reason. The person is admiring you. When someone finds us attractive, it's natural for them to look at us more often, even if they don't realize it. That gaze might be quick and shy, looking away soon after or more prolonged, as if they're trying to take in every detail. However, for the person being looked at, this can sometimes feel uncomfortable or even confusing. Why is this person staring at me so much? In the context of relationships, staring is a powerful form of nonverbal communication. Sometimes, someone's interest starts with a simple stare, something many people don't even realize they're doing. That's because when we're attracted to someone, our eyes naturally seek out more eye contact. But here's an interesting point. Not everyone who stares at you will have the courage to approach you or start a conversation. Eye contact can be the safest and most subtle way to show interest, especially in situations where there isn't an opportunity for a direct approach. If you catch someone staring at you, don't feel embarrassed. In fact, take it as a sign that something about you caught their attention. It could be your looks, the way you speak, or even your energy. The point is, to them, you stand out, even if you haven't noticed it in yourself yet. And of course, there are ways to respond to this kind of attention. A light smile, a returning glance, or even a subtle shift in posture can be enough to show that you're aware of the interaction. After all, self-confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. So, the next time you notice someone staring at you, remember, that intense gaze could be more than just curiosity. It could be admiration, fascination, or even the start of deeper interest. It might seem contradictory, but did you know that very attractive people often receive fewer compliments than you might think? This happens because often others assume that you already know how good-looking you are, or that, because you seem so confident, you don't need validation. It's as if there's a common belief that there's no need to reinforce the obvious. This can leave highly attractive people feeling confused, especially if they struggle with self-esteem issues. You might even think, does no one find me attractive, when in reality the opposite is true. People see you as so impressive that they might find it unnecessary, or even intimidating, to comment on your appearance. In relationships, this dynamic can be even more noticeable. Imagine you're getting to know someone who finds you really attractive, but hesitates to say anything. Why? Because they might think, if I compliment them, it'll sound like something everyone else has said. I want to stand out. Or worse, they might avoid complimenting you so they don't come off as flattering you or being at a disadvantage in the attraction game. It's interesting how this lack of compliments can affect our self-perception. Even the most confident people need to hear that they're appreciated at some point. That's why it's important to remember that a lack of direct comments isn't necessarily a reflection of how you're seen, but rather how others perceive your attractiveness. Here's a tip. Instead of waiting for compliments, pay attention to other signs of admiration. A smile that lingers a bit longer, a kind gesture, or even the effort someone makes to be close to you. These actions speak much louder than words. Finally, recognize your own worth. Don't rely solely on external validation to feel good about yourself. True confidence comes from within, and when you have it, it shows in all your interactions, making you even more attractive to others. One of the most fascinating things about attraction is that it's deeply subjective. What one person finds beautiful might be completely different from what someone else finds attractive. This idea, known as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, reminds us that there is no universal standard for defining beauty. It all depends on who's looking. In relationships, this subjectivity is even more apparent. Maybe you've wondered, what did this person see in me? Or thought that someone attracted to you has very different tastes. But that's exactly what makes relationships special. What makes you unique? Your appearance, your way, your energy might be irresistible to someone, even if you don't notice it right away. Think about the range of preferences out there. For some people, a genuine smile might be the most beautiful thing. For others, it's the way you express yourself, your confidence, or even small details like your hands or the way you laugh. And the most interesting part? Often, the things you like least about yourself are exactly what others admire the most. This concept is powerful because it helps us break free from the trap of trying to please everyone or comparing ourselves to unrealistic beauty standards. The truth is, you'll never be attractive to everyone, but you'll be extraordinarily attractive to some. And that's what truly matters. In long-term relationships, this understanding is essential. Physical attraction might spark initial interest, but it's the emotional connection and the value you bring into each other's lives that solidify the relationship. External beauty might grab attention, but it's who you are on the inside that truly captivates. So, Don't get caught up in the idea that you need to meet certain standards to be considered beautiful or attractive. Instead, celebrate what makes you unique. Because for someone, you are exactly what they were looking for. And that's the truest definition of beauty. When we talk about attraction, the first thing that often comes to mind is physical appearance. And of course, that's not wrong. We all like to feel good about how we look and to be seen as attractive. But true beauty goes beyond what we see in the mirror. It's the balance between outer and inner qualities that really creates an aura of lasting attractiveness. Self-esteem is built not just on compliments about your appearance, but also on the recognition and appreciation of your inner qualities. When you feel good inside, that confidence shows in every gesture, smile, and word. That's the foundation of natural charisma that draws others in authentically. For example, empathy, kindness, and a sense of humor are traits that make people feel connected and attracted to you, no matter what's going on the surface. In relationships, this harmony between the inner and outer self is essential. Often, when we meet someone, we're first drawn to their appearance, but it's what's inside that makes the connection grow. You may remember someone who looked great at first, but as the conversation went on, it became clear that the lack of depth made the attraction fade. On the other hand, someone with positive energy, an interesting worldview, or the ability to listen and support others can become irresistible, even if their appearance isn't considered a beauty standard. Additionally, taking care of yourself holistically is a sign of self-love that reflects in every area of your life, including relationships. When you value your inner qualities, you build a strong foundation that's not easily shaken by external criticism or insecurities. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of your physical appearance, because that's important too. The key is not to weigh one more heavily than the other. So, the final message here is that true attractiveness comes from balance. Value your inner qualities, nurture your confidence, and take care of your mental and emotional health. This will not only make you feel better about yourself, but also make people around you recognize and appreciate who you really are inside and out. And that's the end of the video. I hope you found some valuable insights on how to perceive your own attractiveness and how it can impact your relationships. Remember, beauty goes beyond what the eyes can see. It's a combination of self-confidence, authenticity, and the qualities you bring into the world. Be kind to yourself, recognize what makes you unique, and embrace the signs that you're more attractive than you think. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in your own life? Was any of it surprising to you? Leave a comment below and share your experiences. I love reading what you have to say, and who knows, maybe I'll create more content based on your questions and stories. And if you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning about self-esteem, relationships, and how to feel good about yourself, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This not only helps me keep creating quality content for you, but also allows more people to access these important tips. Share this video with someone you think will benefit from this information. It could be a friend, a partner, or even a family member. Spreading a positive message is always a good idea. See you in the next video. Remember, you are valuable, you are unique, and your true attraction comes from who you are inside and out. Take care, and see you soon.